What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Level 1 podcast. Today is an epic day. Why? Because today, after over 2 months, over 60 hours of gameplay, today, on this very stream, I am going to complete Hollow Knight Silksong. And so, in celebration of this completion, what I would like to do on today's show is give you my overall thoughts on the game. I know I haven't beaten it yet, but at the very same time, being that I basically have like an hour left in the game until almost 100% completion, I feel like I could give you a pretty good estimation of what I think about the game, and so we will do that today. But in addition, if you're not aware, last night we had a last-minute shift in the schedule. Instead of playing Ninja Gaiden 4, I did a Chill with Phil stream that proved incredibly fruitful. We figured out what the next game in the rotation would be. We figured out some ideas for what we're going to be doing on Black Friday and more. So, on today's show, we'll discuss all of this. We'll do some Q&A, and we'll get back into the swing of things. If you can believe it, we're halfway through the streaming week already. Doesn't feel like it, does it? But time flies. So sit back and relax. It is time for another fun episode of the Level 1 podcast. Alrighty, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the show. It is the Level 1 podcast for Wednesday, the 5th of November, 2025. I hope that you're all doing well. Hopefully you're enjoying November so far. It's been off to a great start for me. Great gameplay, great vibes. Hey, everything is going exactly according to plan, and that's a good thing. Today, we're going to get caught up a little bit because the last time I did a podcast was on Sunday. We had 2 days of big dedicated gameplay so that I could get as far as I possibly could, both in Silksong and Pokemon. It paid off. We're now in prime position today to finish Hollow Knight Silksong after 2 freaking months of gameplay. So, today's the big one. I'm very excited to see how it goes. I don't know how it ends, but from what I'm to understand, we have like a final little dungeon segment, and then we have kind of the final boss, and then there's a little bit more to go after that, and then it's the end. Being that on a day when I have a podcast, I usually do about 2.5 hours of gameplay. I think we're going to have more than enough time to finish. If we have some extra time, there is an unfinished quest that I can do featuring the Mushroom Man. I guess if you go to certain areas of the map, excuse me, there's some added lore with this mushroom guy that I don't know if he was also in original Hollow Knight, because again, I never played original Hollow Knight, but it's just an optional quest line. At the end, you get, a little optional ending and an achievement for it. So maybe we'll do that if we have time. We don't need to do that. Just saying it's something optional to do if we happen to wrap up a little bit on the earlier side, because I will be focusing on beating the game first before we go to that optional stuff. But man, let me tell you, I'm finally going to be able to retire the Silksong callus that literally grew on my thumb over the course of the last 2 months as I played Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, okay? Hold on. This is a good controller. This is the Xbox Elite 2 controller that I've been using now for over a year. All right, actually, it was in the summer of last year. It was actually donated by a viewer who then sent me the optional accessories kit for it as well, which I've been using. As you can see, this is not the standard D-pad it comes with. This is the optional D-pad if you want to have a more old school experience. So I'll tell you right now, okay? This D-pad is pretty darn good. It's not flawless, but it's pretty good when it comes to controlling a game that's supposed to be more retro vibe, okay? The thumbsticks are great for modern games. The thumbsticks actually have optional thumbsticks that you can swap in and out to play more like Xbox 360 feel or even play FPS games. But those thumbsticks are terrible for a game like Silksong. They're just a little bit too loose and not precise enough. With a game like Silksong, where you need to be doing aerial dives and stuff to do insane amounts of platforming and crazy difficult stuff, they're just not good enough. You have to go with the D-pad, okay? The triggers and the bumpers are great on this controller. Absolutely amazing. But the critical flaw of the Xbox Elite 2 controller that led to me getting a giant callus on my thumb while playing Silksong is very simple. These face buttons are not very good. They are very hard plastic. They have absolutely no give when you push them. It's a hard click feeling. And because of that, when you're doing crazy level platforming, you're constantly slamming your thumb against it, and it makes a callus. Other pads would have a more softer button feeling. In fact, to give you some perspective, take a look behind me. This is a Lego replica of the original Game Boy from the 1990s. Back then, your two standard buttons were soft. Even on the Lego Game Boy, they're soft. There's like a feeling of, ooh, it's cushioned underneath. So when you hit that button, you're not, slamming my finger and building up resistance. Even the original NES pad had that feeling of cushioned buttons, okay? This controller doesn't have that at all. It's basically made for modern games. And what I mean by that is if you're playing Call of Duty, if you're playing any modern action game, right? These buttons are great and responsive. They are not meant for repeated press. It's not meant for that. So I will just tell you right now, if you're going to play a game like Hollow Knight Silksong, I do not recommend this controller at all. You've got to get one that has a more softer button press. Now, I don't know what that is because I don't really have any other controllers to compare it to, but very shortly, we're going to be amongst the big sale season, right? Online sales out the butt for Black Friday week and stuff like that, Cyber Monday. And I'm going to be looking into getting one or more new controllers because, man, I know after playing Silksong at length, people are saying, will you play original Hollow Knight? And I'm like, yeah, I would. Of course I would. I loved Silksong. Why wouldn't I play Hollow Knight? And then I look at this controller and I look at my thumb and I'm like, I don't want to put myself further through this crap. So I'll probably get one or two new controllers very shortly, and that way I'll have backups as well, because it's always good to have a backup. Right now, if this one were to break, I'd basically have to go back to my original Xbox controller from when I was using the Xbox Series X, a year ago, which is fine, but, definitely good opportunity to get a controller upgrade. So anyway, yeah, finally, my thumb will begin to recover after today, because we won't be doing ultra hard platforming and combat anymore for a bit. So that's a good thing. Anyway, I love Silksong, and I'm very happy today to talk about my overall thoughts about this game on this stream. It's going to be good. Overall, I was insanely pleased with how everything went with Silksong. Not only am I pleased with the game, but I'm also pleased, obviously, with the reception the game got. I was incredibly nervous that if I were going to try to play Silksong, that it wasn't going to work. And what I mean by that is, historically, over my 17 plus years as a creator on the internet, the times that I have tried to play Metroidvania games usually have not resulted in much attendance, engagement, or support. Usually, when I try to play a Metroidvania, it's more for me than the audience, and there's a big disconnect. Now, there have been two exceptions in my entire history as a creator: Metroid Dread, and now Hollow Knight Silksong. In fact, you may not even be aware of this. I did try to play Hollow Knight 1 years ago. Now, it wasn't when it was a new release, because originally Hollow Knight was a PC-only release, then it got ported to consoles. But when it got ported, it was actually during a marathon. I don't remember if it was during an Indies marathon or if it was a Halloween marathon, but it got nominated. I played it for about an hour, and I outright told everyone, man, this game's hard, but I actually like it. People complained when I was playing it that it was boring, changed to a different game. Why is he playing this game? This game isn't interesting. That's the feedback I got. Now, maybe it's just a different era. Maybe I have different viewers and fans now. I don't know. But with Hollow Knight Silksong, we had consistent attendance, consistent engagement, people coming by to help me with this game, to guide me to stuff. Because to be honest, Silksong's an amazing game, but it's also a game that doesn't fully explain a lot of stuff about it and has a ton of hidden secrets that you could literally be staring at and not recognize. So without a guide, it would take you a lot longer to beat a game like this. For example, my playthrough is around 60 hours long, and we're going to beat it today. No exaggeration. If I went around trying to find everything in the game for myself, this probably would have been 100+ hours. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm a streamer. I'm a creator. I'm trying to make content people want to watch and digest. No one wants to see me wander around the hallways for 3 hours looking for a secret door. So I'm very happy for those who came by and engaged with this playthrough to allow me to do all of the content. Today, we actually are going to do the final content. And the only thing that I didn't do in the playthrough was I didn't do the secret witch ending where when you get infected, if you do this in Act 2 and you get infected by this little, I don't even know what it's called, but basically you lose your ability to use your special moves and stuff and you can't heal. If you then go and beat the game, there's a secret ending. I didn't get that one. And outside of that, like I said, there's one other quest for this mushroom guy that if you do the mushroom quest, you get a secret ending. But outside of that, the only other things I haven't done is like beat the game within a certain amount of time by speed running it and crap like that, or collect every single item, get every heart piece, get every spool piece. I didn't do all of that. And the thing is, I probably could, again, with a little bit of guidance. I'm sure I could have found everything, but it's not necessary. You know, it's just if you really want to be a huge completionist, I don't think I'm going to go that crazy, okay? But man, what an exciting run. So I'll give you my thoughts about the game in a few minutes here, but let's check in with the audience, shall we? How's everyone doing this morning? I actually have no idea. I started early today, so I actually don't even know how many people we have on the stream. Decent amount, and it's building up, actually. Wow, I'm shocked we have this many because I started like 15, 20 minutes earlier than I normally would. How's everyone today? Who do we got? We got Maddox. We got Chris, Elliot, Pollution, Parasolo, how are you this morning? Mitchell, how are you this morning? Alpha Gun, what's going on? Over on Kick, we got RGB Kings, Blue Man Blue, Jay the Great, Feastbot, Mojito Kitty, Sweet Codeine, Eddie Chill, Free Viewer of Content. Gotta love these names. 321 on a what? I can't even read that one. Dragon Gingerbread Warrior, 1986, I love DSP, and more. How is everyone this morning? Welcome to the show, and welcome to the stream. This should be a great one. I'm actually very much looking forward to this one to see how the game ends. Hopefully, you're all in good spirits. Everything's going well for you this autumn. Right now, the autumn is in full swing for me. It is nice, cool weather outside, raining outside today. The office is a nice 75 degrees. I've got the nice air blowing fans on. As you can see, I can wear nice fall attire. I'm nice and comfortable in here. It's good stuff. I really like this time of year for streaming, for content creation. It's the best time of year. It really is. We're playing a whole bunch of games. We're juggling them all because there's so many. You know, there's an overabundance of great stuff to do. Best time. Absolutely. And of course, we're heading into the holiday season very shortly. It'll be American Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and we get all excited for that. And I know you guys do too. I will say this. Doing less podcasts is actually working. And what I mean by that is I was doing a podcast every morning, right? And that's fine to do a podcast every morning, but there were mornings when we really didn't have much to talk about. And so I'd be like, let's just do Q&A, let's just hang out. The truth is, doing the podcast maybe every other day, every third day, and then maybe doing a couple, it's working better. And the reason is I seem to have actual directed stuff to talk about. And check this out, because I didn't know how this was going to affect things. But I tried doing less podcasts in the last month and a half. My viewership, I thought, would be affected. I'm like, man, if I'm only pumping out half the podcast for people to watch after the fact, and I'm not making videos of the pre-stream hangouts, because that's the truth. Like on the days that I'm not doing the Level 1 podcast, we hang out for like a half an hour, and then we start with gameplay. Well, I'm not recording those half hours. That's just us hanging out on stream, and then we go right to gameplay. No one can watch that after the fact, okay? So, guess what? My views are up. I put out less videos because I'm not putting out podcasts every morning. I'm not recording and uploading the hangout sessions, and my views are up. My actual watch time is up. My subs are up. So I guess it works. Like they say, sometimes less is more. Because I'm not doing the podcast every day, when I do the podcast, maybe it feels a little bit more special. So we have a few more people who come by to watch it. And then overall, the podcast benefits the channel better. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I'd like your feedback. And you might say, well, it's also because of all the games out. You're right. Right now, we've had a big abundance of new games that have been hitting the channel that I've been playing. And, I think what it is a lot of people always come to check out the new game on the first few videos, and that artificially will inflate views for a little bit. And because I've been playing so many games in the last month, some of which I stuck with, some of which I did not, that might be a reason too why you got higher views, more engagement. I get it. It might not just have to do with the podcast, but hey, it didn't hurt the channel, and I'm happy about that. I was a little nervous saying, hey, less podcasts, what will happen? It's been good, okay? And so today, I didn't do a podcast for 2 days. That allowed me to get massive progress in Silksong and set me up for the finale today. It also allowed me to do big progress in Pokemon, which I feel like we're making big strides in the plot of Pokemon, but I just don't know how long Pokemon Legends ZA is. And I get a feeling that the people who are watching the playthrough aren't wanting to spoil me on it, so I don't really know how much is left. But everything is good. Like, seriously, everything right now is going well. We are having great streams, great support. Everything is fine. I don't have a single complaint. And I'll say this, last night I did an audible. You might say an audible. Oh, he always says this. Yes, it's called an audible. It's when you do a change of strategy or a change of play. Say, how I know audible is from American football. In American football, right, you may be all ready to go. You're on the line. You're about to hike the ball and start the play. And then all of a sudden the quarterback calls an audible and the entire line changes because now they changed the play on the fly. So now everyone has to run around and change the last minute before you run the play. So that's what I did last night. Last night, we were supposed to play Ninja Gaiden 4, but I had a last-minute change of plans, and I think it worked out really well. We'll talk about that in a second. But we got our first support of the day. Hold on one second here. From C. Murda 78 over on Kick. Thank you to C. Murda. Allow me to play you a manual animation because, once again, sadly, Kick has not fully integrated with these services yet. So because of that, my queue isn't working yet. The animations don't work automatically yet. I have to manually play this for you. I know your name's not Kevin. Once this gets fixed, the real name of the person will show up. It'll say C. Murda sent, full send. But right now I have to do it manually. So thank you, C. Murda, for support of the stream. Let's get that on the leaderboard here. I appreciate that. So by the way, we are at 7 out of 10 goals hit already. It's only Wednesday, and we're at 7 out of 10 goals hit. If we stay on pace, this means that tomorrow we'll be doing a second episode of DSP Tries It in 1 week. I didn't expect that, all right, at all, but I'm happy with it. If we hit our goals today and tomorrow's day stream, we will be doing a DSP Tries It of the return to Jollibee. And we actually looked up the menu yesterday of what I will have. Here's what I'm going to have. Spicy chicken, because last time I had regular chicken, so I'm going to try the spicy edition. This noodle dish, I forgot the name of it, but it's a unique Filipino noodle dish that has sauce, but also it has like a soft-boiled egg. That sounds interesting. I'm going to try the Aloha version of one of the sandwiches. Last time I tried both the deluxe chicken and the deluxe burger. This time I'm going to get one of those, but the Aloha version that has like pineapple and a sauce and special stuff to make it like a Hawaiian version. And I'm going to try a unique dessert, mango peach pie. Sounds good. So that's going to be a pretty good DSP Tries It. Again, trying all these different things. That's going to be good. Maybe tomorrow. It could actually happen tomorrow. All right. Now, I have an update. I was talking with my wife, Kat, about this, and she's like, I don't think I want Jollibee. She's trying to really stay away from fried foods. I can't blame her. All right. And we're talking about what should the next one be. And we were actually watching a few videos and stuff, and I realized I don't think I'm going to actually, before I say this, let me search because I'm curious. Let me take a quick look here. Give me 1 second here, everybody. I don't think that I have done this kind of food in a very, very long time. Okay. Okay. I have actually never actually done Thai food for DSP Tries It. And we actually have a lot of Thai restaurants out here. Off the top of my head, I can think of 3 different Thai restaurants that we have local. Now, I don't eat Thai food frequently, okay? But I know that some common Thai dishes, what I meant to say, are things such as pad Thai, which is a special kind of noodles with a peanut sauce. So maybe I'll get some stuff like that. Maybe I'll get like 2 dishes and I'll compare them. I don't know. But I think next DSP Tries It will be Thai food, okay? Then after that, we'll see if anything new pops up. If not, I'll probably try the Thanksgiving menu from Arby's, including their Gobbler fried turkey sandwich and their brand new apple pie shake. So now I'm actually starting to line up a whole bunch of DSP Tries It's for the month, which is great. It means that we don't have to on the fly be brainstorming new ideas and worrying what's the next one. We already know, okay? So we got Jollibee next when I hit 10 goals. Then we've got Thai food, and then we're probably doing the Thanksgiving menu from Arby's. Okay? Good stuff. Okay, so with 7 out of 10 goals hit, it would be amazing for us to hit those goals every stream, get a hit goal on this stream, goal tonight for Tormented Souls 2, and a goal tomorrow for Mortal Kombat. We're actually playing Sub-Zero or MK Mythology Sub-Zero for the first time. Oh, God. I can imagine how that's going to go because that game is terrible, supposedly. I think it's going to go well. We can hit those goals, and let's do DSP Tries It tomorrow. All right, let's go. So let's get some support flowing for the Level 1 podcast. Let's get our first sub of the day over on Kick right now. Let's get our first super chat of the day on YouTube right now. Let's get our first tip of the day via PayPal right now. Let's do it. Let's get support coming from all different directions. Feesbot says, are we closer to regaining our moral support messages? Well, Feesbot, have you seen an abundance of support coming from Kick recently? I think I rest my case. What did I say? I said, hey, if things pick up on Kick, if we start getting a whole bunch of support from Kick, then I would give you extra, right? That's exactly what I said. Has it happened? No. What it is, we're getting some regulars in here, which I appreciate. Your future stepdad coming in here, and every once in a while we get someone who's a person who's here every once in a while dropping 5 subs here or there. We get a few kicks here or there. There has not been any kind of an increase of support on Kick. So if we get it, if we get that rallying, we'll do it. And someone actually said, here's what someone said, all right? Why don't you set up a goal? And if we hit the goal of support on Kick, I give back the moral support messages. All right? Well, you asked for it. I mean, I didn't come up with the idea. You did. You asked for it. You can have it. All right, let's do it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's set up a goal on Kick because we can do it. I forgot how to do it. Here it is. Set goals. I haven't done it. Set a subscription goal. Here we go. You want it? You got it. You ready for this? What's today's date? Today's the 5th. So I would have to set it up. Like, when would it end? It would end on... See, here's what's confusing about goals on Kick. Let's say I set it up and it says end on the 7th. Does that mean as soon as it becomes the 7th, the goal is over? Or does that mean you guys would have the entirety of the 7th to hit the goal? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, I want to go... Here's a goal, okay? The goal is, I want to get 125, that's right, 125 subs between right now and the end of Friday on Kick. That's the goal. Can we get 125 subs? Because we lost a ton of subs almost 2 weeks ago, and we have stayed at the same level and not gotten any of them back. We lost them all. So within today, tomorrow, and all day Friday, can we get 125 subs on Kick? And that will start. Hold on, because I'm going to do an emote for it. You said an emote for the goal. Here, we'll do this one. Okay? The goal begins right now. So if you gift a sub or you become a sub on Kick starting right now, you're working towards that goal. If we get 125 subs between now and the end of Friday, you will get your moral support text messages back. I will add them and you will be able to use them. All right? That's the deal. Someone said to set it up. I've set it up. That's what we're working with. So let's go. You keep asking. Now you know what the criteria are. Let's get going. So let's see. Again, people complain. So I give you what you're asking for. Now, will they actually live up to it, or are they just going to complain some more? Let's find out. All right. So that's set up now. I'll probably forget all about it within 5 minutes and not mention it again unless someone reminds me. But Game Boy, good morning. Good to see you. How you doing today, Game Boy? Thanks for stopping by. I see Stuart as well. I see a bunch of newcomers came in. Thanks, guys. What are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are all in good spirits for the show today. Hello. Yes, I actually, no one's ever asked me this before. I'll answer the question from Sweet Coding. Yes, I wear workout gloves when I work out. I don't just bare hand the weights. That's horrible for your hands. Like, it would destroy your hands. I have workout gloves. And for the most part, they work. I got a tiny little callus, like right here and right here from grabbing them. But outside of that, the workout gloves work great. They pad my hands very nicely. So, yes. Okay. All right. Anyway, so let's get back to the subject at hand. I want to talk about last night. This is how I got so sidetracked here. So thank you for the 100 kicks. Okay. C Murda. Can we get some more support for the podcast today? Can we get our first sub of the day? You want your messages? You want these highlighted text messages, right? For moral support. Let's get some subs flowing. Let's get our first sub of the day right now on Kick. Let's get our first super chat and let's get our first tip. Let's go. Right now, we got nothing moving. Let's get it going right now. Let's get that momentum for Silksong. Okay? All right, cool. So last night, I had a stream scheduled for Ninja Gaiden 4. Okay, continuing the playthrough. Now, admittedly, Ninja Gaiden 4 has been up and down. The first stream of Ninja Gaiden 4, I blew it. Because when I was playing it, all right, I basically spent way too much time on an optional challenge room. In reality, I do feel like that challenge room was very, very much misdesigned. They did a combat challenge room before you got all your combat abilities. So because you didn't have them all, the challenge room was insanely difficult. After that, all the other challenge rooms are way easier. Why make the first challenge room in the game the hardest one? That doesn't even make sense. You're still in the intro of the game. Why are you getting your balls crushed? But anyway, I kind of blew it because I spent 45 minutes on a challenge room. I raged, and it killed the momentum of the first night playing the game. It really did. After that, I recovered. I started playing way better, and because of that, I ended up getting a lot of momentum. I got new weapons, new boss fights, really showed off the graphics of the game and how the game runs really well and how the camera's all over the place with all this action and stuff like that. But then what ended up happening was when I got to the third and fourth streams, the game just showed its kind of cracks. It's just so repetitive. A game like this in the 2000s, it stood out because it was like, whoa, it's blowing me away with its graphics and there's so much combat. But now, the truth is, the game is just kind of repetitive. It seems like it's more of an outdated game. Back in, March? We were playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. That was great and refreshing because it was a throwback to a game from the past, redone with a modern graphics and, modern things. So it felt refreshed and it was interesting, okay? But basically, what ended up happening was, after playing that throwback game, playing the new one makes it feel too samey. It's kind of like years ago, I played Mario, and then after that, I played another Mario game. Horrible idea. You can't play double Mario, right? Right now, I'm finishing Silksong. Would it be a good idea to go right into the original Hollow Knight? No, that's oversaturation. It's too much of the same. So having just played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black earlier in the year, jumping into 4 now kind of feels like, man, this is too much of an overload of the samey kind of game. And so last stream of it when I was playing, it just kind of felt boring. I'm going to be honest with you. Way too much of the same repetitive combat, not enough original stuff going on, and the audience got bored. Ended up getting low attendance, low engagement, and low support. And I said, well, we're going to put this off for like a week then. We'll bring it back next week when we have more time, and we'll see how it goes. All right? So here we are a week later. And with all the other games in the rotation that I'm playing, everyone's liking, I'm thinking, man, I got to go back to Ninja Gaiden 4, and I just don't know how it's going to do. And so during the break yesterday, after a really successful stream of Pokemon, I'm just thinking in my head, man, tonight I got to play Ninja Gaiden 4, and I just don't know if people are going to show up. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. It's like a light bulb goes off in my head again. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's 2025, okay? This is not 2017, 2018, where Phil was broke, where Phil bought games outright and had to commit to playing games in full length because I couldn't afford to play any other games. But I think in my mind, I'm still kind of stuck in that mindset a lot of the time. This is 2025 DSP. I've evolved, okay? I've matured, I've changed. I now listen to my audience, and I give you guys what you want. So if I've already played Ninja Gaiden for 8 hours, and by the end of the 8 hours, I've got low engagement and low support, it means you guys don't like the game, right? Now, I think the game's all right. I'm not in love with Ninja Gaiden 4, but I also realize it is repetitive. I was getting a little bored of it the last stream, and I was hoping that things would pick up this one. But I'm thinking in my head, wait a minute, what am I doing? I don't need to play it. We could do whatever we want. We could hang out. We could play a different game. We could do whatever we could do with my time. My time is valuable. People want me to do a million things every stream. Phil, when are you playing this game? Are you going to react to this content? What are you going to do with this? Will you do this? People want to see me do things. That's cool. It's not like back in the day at all. It's so different. Things have gotten much better. And I need to get used to that mindset. I'm not. I'm still kind of stuck in that rut of, oh my God, Phil, you're hard off. You got to finish every game you play. You got to tough through everything. I don't. We're better than that now. Okay? So in this case, I said, if I'm having this anxiety about playing Ninja Gaiden 4, then I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play Ninja Gaiden 4. Fuck it. What do I care? So we didn't do it last night. Instead, on the fly, I called an audible, and we did a Chill with Phil stream. The Chill with Phil stream went incredibly well. All right? We had a high attendance. Like overall, I think we had almost 400 viewers for a Chill with Phil stream when I was only getting 200 viewers for Ninja Gaiden 2. Or excuse me, Ninja Gaiden 4. Engagement was sky high. We got all kinds of feedback on things such as, what should the next game that I play be? What should we do during this upcoming event that I'm going to do for Black Friday? We had great discussion. Support was outstanding. I raised over $200 on this Chill stream. I actually had the epiphany, oh my God, I still have those WWE trading cards in my closet. They've been sitting there for 7 months since I quit doing Smart Guys. They're just collecting dust. Let's open them on stream. We opened trading cards. We had a great time. Or we could have sat here and I could have played Ninja Gaiden 4 for 2 hours. We all would have been bored to tears and it would have been a sucky stream. Why did I waste my time? So this is what I need to do. I need to start making better use of my time. Instead of wasting time on things you guys aren't liking and I'm basically bored with, why are we doing that? This is a game, especially Ninja Gaiden 4. I didn't even buy it. It's a Game Pass game. Why am I acting like it's some $70 investment that I'm stuck playing? It's not. Okay? So I'm very happy that happened. If you didn't see it, the archived Chill with Phil is available on this channel. I just left it as the archive stream, so you could just watch it in its entirety. All right? It was a great time. It was a good 2.5-hour hangout session, and it went really, really well. Okay? So, in a moment, I will tell you about the things that we determined during this Chill with Phil hangout because it actually went really well. But I got some shout outs to do. In the meantime, welcome everyone. Tons of people are joining now. We got Cashew Crunch, Rush Sin, Big Mac is here. Who else? Jito Day is here. Alpha Gun is here. A lot of new people coming to the stream. Welcome everybody. Shout outs. Ginger Hulk TV gifted a sub. Thank you to Ginger Hulk TV. That is our first sub of the day over on Kick. So that means now We only have, here, in fact, here's what I'm going to do. Moral. Nah, I don't want to put that because people are going to say, what does that mean? We have 124 subs to go by the end of Friday for me to add the text messages back to the moral support on Kick. We got 1. So now we need 124 more, okay? There you go. So that's $5 of support. We also have Cashew Crunch 87 did a $5 super chat and says, "Hi DSP, I wish you well. Thank you so much to Cashew Crush. Let's get you on the leaderboard. That's our first super chat of the day." And Cashew Crush became a member, which is our first membership of the day. So let's get that on the leaderboard. Thank you for joining and supporting the channel. That is the equivalent of $3 of support. So there we go. So we got our first super chat, our first membership, and our first sub. How about our first tip of the day? Can we get our first tip of the day right now? That would be absolutely perfect. Then we'd have a little bit of support all around. And then we could work towards the goal today of 150 for the finale of Silksong, right? Let's hit that. We have hit goals almost every single Silksong stream. There's been very few Silksong streams where we came up short. And I'm very appreciative of that. We'll talk about that in a moment, about my thoughts about Silksong, okay? Okay. Did I get your message on Monday about 100% completion? I did. I'm not going to do 100% completion. It's impossible. I'd have to get every mask piece, every spool. I'd have to do like every piece of content, and I can't actually. There's no way because I couldn't get the alternate ending right now. So I'm definitely not doing that. Like I said, what we're going to focus on today, just get to the end and beat it. And then if there's optional time, maybe I'll go back and do that Mushroom Man quest just for fun. And that's it. That's the playthrough. We've done more than enough in this playthrough, trust me. Shingen25 tipped $1. Do you think abandoning games is going against what you built your brand on? You were well known for finishing games and considered reliable. Now you're all over the place with random streams. I remember what you said, if you're bored, you're boring. Shingen25, it's not 2011. It's 2025. And as a creator, you need to evolve with the times, and you need to listen to feedback from your viewers for what they want. There was a time when, if you were a content creator on YouTube for gaming, you could run out and buy the game at the same time that everyone else could. You could rush home, unbox the game because there was actually stuff to show in the box, and do a release day unboxing video. And then you could start playing immediately. You could beat the game within 2 days, upload it, and you could be one of the first people on the planet to have a full playthrough of the game on the internet. That was the name of the game over a decade ago. In 2025, there's already 100 people who have the game before you, who play the game before you, who stream the game before you, who have the entirety of the game on the internet before you, and have already reviewed the game before you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Rushing to beat a game, completing every game in its entirety, is no longer the name of the game at all. What the name of the game is today is finding a project that people want to see to the end, and that people will show up, engage, and support. And it doesn't matter if it's 2 people, 20 people, 200 people, or 2,000 people. As long as the people are there and supporting of you, it doesn't matter. That's the difference between me and these other people who are all about, oh, how many views am I getting on my stream today? What's the level of this or that? None of that matters. What matters is, are you entertaining enough of an audience that you can maintain consistent engagement and support? And if you are, you're doing the right thing. And if you're not, move on to something people want. That's how you entertain an audience in the modern era. Back in the day, it was my thing to rush and get a game first and get the playthrough out. Those days are long gone. Long gone. The industry changed to the point where now the people who get this stuff early are paid shills. These are people who have contractual agreements to not break street date, there's review embargoes and shit like that. They basically have to kiss the game's butt early, and they get the entire game on the internet first. Why do I give a shit? What I care about is if I'm entertaining the audience, okay? So there you go. I understand where you're coming from, but you are literally referencing a bygone era, of content that does not exist anymore, okay? And the sooner that we realize that, the better. It's time to stop referencing a long gone past and to realize what reality is in the present, okay? It's Cashew Crunch. I guess I spelled this guy's name wrong. Hold on. So that was an anonymous $1. Oh, no, that was Shinken25 with a $1 tip. So hold on. Conquer106 did a $10 Canadian super chat. He says, good luck on the last Silksong stream. Hope you successfully beat the final boss. It is a tough fight. I'm sure it's tough, but man, with all the stuff I fought in this playthrough so far, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It might take me a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to beat it effectively. So let's do the Canadian to USD conversion. It is $7.09, which gives you the top spot there, Conquer106. And then Cashew Crunch did another $5 super chat and said, small typo, it's Cashew Crunch. What did I put? Cashew Crash. Thank you guys for the early support. I appreciate that. And like I said, let's keep it going. Let's hit that goal for Silksong today, right? Let's go. Let's hit that goal for the final stream of Silksong. So, oh, did you give 200 kicks? I apologize that I missed them when you do. Let me see here. You did. There you are. Okay, thank you. 220. Let's add that to the leaderboard. However, you are not the top person because we already had 100 kicks and you did 100 kicks. You'd have to do the 500 kicks, I guess, to get on the leaderboard to be the top one. But thank you there, 220 for the kicks. Okay. Well, we get our second sub of the day so that we can get down to 123 subs for our goal for the week to bring back text messages for moral support. Let's see. Very good. Okay, so last night during the Chill with Phil stream, okay, we determined two very important things. Number one, since Silksong concludes today, and because we're done with Ninja Gaiden 4, what's next? We had a vote. The vote was between returning to Super Mario Galaxy 2 or continuing or starting a new playthrough of The Outer Worlds 2 or playing some more of the horror-themed games that we've played over the past couple of weeks that you guys seem to enjoy. Some nominees include My Friendly Neighborhood, No, I'm Not a Human, My Side, Left 4 Dead 2, or what was the other one? Oh, Poppy Playtime. So all those games seemed great, and I would consider doing a playthrough of them, all right? So we did a poll, and the poll said as follows. Overwhelmingly, the majority of people who were on that chill stream with me last night want to see me give The Outer Worlds 2 a try. And I think I understand why. I think there's a couple of reasons. Reason number one, it's a Game Pass game. There's no commitment. Everyone knows that if I play it and we don't like it, it's fine. I don't have to continue with it. So no harm, no foul. Give it a chance to play a stream and see what happens. Number two, I did a full playthrough of The Outer Worlds 1 years ago, and it was good. It certainly wasn't the best. Like, I think the game had some really good strengths and some big shortcomings, too. It was kind of a balance. So people want to know, is the follow-up good? And number three, people talking about Outer Worlds 2 seem to be divided. Some people think this game is absolutely outstanding and absolutely a huge improvement from the first game, and they want to see me play it. Others are saying it actually, in 2025, is an underwhelming game that is not holding up, and therefore it's not worth your time. And some people are in the middle. So because it's that kind of a game where it's like no definitive agreement about if it's good or bad, those are the kind of games that people tend to want to see me give a shot, because my opinion can help formulate your opinion on if you want to try it out or not. So I'm going to give it a go starting on Sunday's daytime stream. We're going to try The Outer Worlds 2. If it ends up being boring, if it ends up being lame, if it ends up being, let's be honest, politically charged and really annoying because more politics in games is not what we need, then we don't have to keep playing it. Okay? We don't. Or maybe we'll play it and it'll actually be quite entertaining and a big improvement from the first one, and we're laughing and we're having a good time. Then we'll continue with the playthrough. All right? But let's see what happens by playing this on Sunday. We'll give it a shot. If it ends up being good, it hits the rotation. If it ends up sucking balls, we never play it again and we pretend like it never happened. Fair enough? I hope so. Titanite Slab, welcome to the stream and thank you for a $2 super chat. Well, it's a £2, actually. Just had a hard day. I'm happy to be here and relaxing. It's good to have you. I'm glad to hear that you're here to relax and have a good time. That's what it's all about, right? Thank you so much, Titanite Slab. And again, this is why I get upset in this modern day when so many games are taking these weird political themes, all right, and they're shoving them down your throat in a video game. The point of a game, the point of a game stream should be to escape the stress of reality. That every day you're inundated with politics and real life drama and all this crap. Like, I don't want to deal with all that. I want to go relax. Let me go to someone's gameplay stream and see them play a fun game. And then when you go to their stream and you see them playing a game and the game is all preachy about politics and shit, you're like, oh, come on. Don't want that crap in our games. That's why these games are not doing well, that are having this stuff shoved down our throats. That was number one. That's the first thing we determined, all right, is that we would be doing Outer Worlds 2 on Sunday. We'll see if it works. If it works, it's in the rotation. If not, we cut it out. It's all good. We'll give it a shot. Okay, that was number one. Number two, we talked a lot about what I'm going to be doing during the Black Friday event, marathon, whatever it may be, because right now it's completely up in the air. We don't know what we want to do. I know I will be here for Black Friday for streams, but the question is, will it be 2 separate normal streams? Will it be a marathon stream? Will it be regular gameplay content? Will it be a day of solely multiplayer content? Will it be some new stuff, like maybe the return of reacting, which I haven't done in a very long time? Okay. Or another possibility, it's Black Friday. It's one of the big days for sales and deals around the world. Could I possibly maybe myself go online and look for a few deals and sales that I'd like to partake in? Notably, I already just said I want to get a new controller or controllers, so I have backups that I can swap between for certain kinds of games, and if this controller breaks, I have a backup. That's one thing. Another thing is that I've had a couple ideas for some new kinds of stuff that I could do, but it would actually mean that I needed to have a hardware investment. Well, maybe this could be opportunity that I could look into that and see how much that hardware costs, how exactly viable it would be to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking about it in my head. All right. So what do we want to do on that day? So a few ideas kind of popped up, and basically we did a poll. And the poll was, do you want to see me react to stuff? Do you want to see me do multiplayer gameplay? Or do you want to see me shop for deals? Okay. And the poll was literally worthless, because on the Kick side of stuff, people voted one way. And on the YouTube side of stuff, the poll results were completely flipped the other way. So it really didn't help us to determine much at all. All right. What's funny is someone in Kick Chat, I believe, just said, what about this? What about DSP's Thanksgiving leftovers? We're basically on Black Friday. We play more of these games that I started in October and we're not really playing. Like maybe I play the next chapter of Poppy's Playtime. Maybe I go a little bit further into My Friendly Neighborhood, you know? I mean, that could be fun, but it would really honestly feel like a retread of Halloween again, would it not? Wouldn't it just feel like it's Halloween 2.0 because we're just doing horror games again? So I don't know. Like, it seems like we still have a lot of good ideas, but we haven't really nailed it down to what we absolutely want to do yet, you know? One thing that someone said last night was, if I'm going to react, listen to this. I should react to a documentary on LTG. Whoa! 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 Oh, boy. What's going on, Bumblebee Farmer? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. So I don't know. I could do that. That's something that I avoided doing for a couple of years there when I was actually reacting to different documentaries from all over the internet. So I've literally never reacted to anything about LTG before. Maybe I could. If you remember, that was an idea that I had, was that I was going to react to LTG and like talk about his gameplay and coach him a little bit. Like actually react to how he plays Street Fighter 6 and stuff like that. But that was like years ago. Now I'm not even actively playing Street Fighter 6 anymore, so probably couldn't even do that. But, you know, it's just an idea. It's just funny stuff to do. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I still haven't figured this out yet, exactly what I want to do on Black Friday. I still don't know if we're doing a marathon, if we're doing Like, the way I see it, maybe instead of only doing one thing, make it a variety stream that day, so that way we don't get bored. So maybe there is a segment dedicated to just doing Black Ops, and we can call that Black Ops Friday, that part. And then there's a segment where I do some shopping. And then there's a segment where I do some reacting. Ellipsian says you should go through the Dale dossier live. I have no idea what the Dale dossier is. You? I don't know. I don't know any of this crap. I pay no attention to any of it. Okay? Now, Rush Sin says, I'd like to see you react to fresh releases of game trailers. I do that on this very show. That's actually a good use of this podcast, is if there's a new game trailer that drops or new information, like a presentation of like Nintendo or something, I'll watch it and react to it on this show, and that works well. So I'm willing to do that, but let's do those as they appear or as they happen rather than waiting for like a marathon to do it. I think it'd be good just, let me know during these podcasts, hey, something came out, you want to react to it? And then I probably would. Okay? The truth is, I still need some feedback on what to do on Black Friday. We still haven't really nailed it in, hammered it in yet. All right, we haven't. We got to figure this out, what we want to do. But I think we're getting there. We're starting to get some good ideas, right? We're starting to really formulate what the day will be. Cashew Crunch, thanks for $2. LTG will never play me in a fighting game because he's a coward. And he knows that I'm going to beat him, so he's scared and he won't do it. What he always spins it is he says he has absolutely nothing to gain from it. So instead of it being a competitive match, it's a collab, and therefore I should pay him for the collab. But in reality, the reason he won't do it is because he knows he has no chance of beating me in anything. So therefore, he just runs from it and makes a zillion excuses. So I tell you right now, it'll never happen. Even if I came up with the money that he's asked for, he still wouldn't play me because he never wants to play me. That's the idea, is to run like a coward. Okay. So anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So, yeah. So let's continue to brainstorm on what we're going to be doing for the Black Friday event. I know that we'll come up with some good stuff. We have more time to plan. Still 3 weeks basically to plan it. It's going to be Friday, the 28th of November. So let's keep going, and let's keep that, in the road, and ideas bubbling, percolating. I like the idea of DSP's Thanksgiving leftovers. I like the name of that. And then it could be like, we just do a bunch of leftover stuff. We do some leftover gameplay of Black Ops. We do a leftover react that I never did over the years. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That would be pretty cool, maybe. Okay. Sounds horrible? All right, good. Finish cleaning out the closet. All right, let's do it right now. Ready? All right, so here we have the blue shell from Mario Kart. I just found it in there. All right, we never finished it. We never finished cleaning out the closet. The things we didn't get to is the classic gaming collection and all the holiday decorations and stuff to the left of the closet. And definitely that could use being cleaned out, but what are you going to do? We didn't get to it yet, right? Okay. We're definitely not going to be cleaning out the closet today. All right. So here's some crazy stuff. It's funny because people were saying, oh, when Phil stood up, his pants were like falling down and stuff. Yeah, I've lost so much weight that even these pants, these are brand new pants. I bought them at the end of last season. Okay, so I bought these probably in like February, okay? These pants are now loose on me because I lost so much weight. Even the pants I just bought like 8 months ago are falling off of me. So it's like, I had to buy all new jeans because my jeans were way too big for me. So I bought all new, much smaller jeans. Basically, I'm wearing clothes that are the same size that I used to wear when I was in my early 20s. That's the size I'm back to again, which is pretty nuts. I mean, it's been a long effing time, dude. Like, I over 20 years it's been since I've been this small. And listen, I'm loving it. So, okay. Arzandova says, it would be cool if you browsed some colognes during Black Friday. If you're going to buy cologne, what you need to do is you need to go test it out at a place that has it. So you can go to like a department store. You can go to, for example, Kohl's. A lot of Kohl's stores have like a Sephora in the store, and they have a whole cologne and perfume section. You got to smell them and test them first. With the price of cologne these days, you can't just like buy one on the fly and hope it's good. Because then you end up with a bottle of shit you hate and you spent like a ton of money on it. So, I'm not gonna just be buying colognes off the internet randomly and hope that they're good. All right. So the other thing that I want to talk about today, before we adjourn the podcast, is Hollow Knight Silksong. All right. So basically, Hollow Knight Silksong is the first time that I have played a Metroidvania game and seen this level of success. The only other Metroidvania game that I've played that worked was actually Metroid Dread. Now, other times I've attempted to play Metroidvanias, they failed. I actually tried to play Super Metroid on the Switch Online when it first was released. Didn't work. I tried to play, what was the Castlevania game ages ago? There was a Castlevania game I believe I tried to play. It didn't work. There were other ones, like, for example, Ori and the Blind Forest. Didn't work. I've probably tried between 5 to 10 different Metroidvania games over the years, notably Hollow Knight, the original Hollow Knight. I attempted to play during a marathon. People actually asked me to play it. They were dying for me to play it. And I bought it on PlayStation and tested it during the marathon. It didn't work. People told me it sucked. They said it's boring. Why are you playing this? I was like, are you kidding me? It's like ultra difficult. The game's kicking my ass. I remember dying a bunch to a certain area. And I don't know why, like, people loved it and wanted it. And then I played it and I don't know. It just didn't work. It didn't catch on. So I stopped playing Metroidvania games for a very long time. And then Metroid Dread was coming out. It was a Switch exclusive, if you remember. And I told everyone, I'm not playing it because I've done these other Metroidvanias. They never work. I'm not going to waste my time and money on it. And then people contacted me and said, no, Phil, Metroid Dread, like, everyone is rating it as like, here we go. Everyone is rating it as like the best Metroidvania up to now. They're saying amazing, good ratings. And it's a Switch exclusive. Came out during the holiday season. It was October 8th, 2021 is when it came out. And I said, listen, the only way I'm going to play Metroid Dread is if you guys buy into it. Meaning I get people who commit that they're going to support this playthrough. And they did. I actually had significant people saying, we're going to come by. And they did live up to their word. Every time that I played Metroid Dread, people showed up, engaged, and supported. And we ended up with a series of really great streams. I mean, the game wasn't super long or anything, but we ended up with a playthrough that was actually well supported. For the most part, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 slower streams, but we were hitting my goals and everything for an extended period of time when I played the game. So I was like, hey, I guess people, they lived up to their word, I was very pleased with that. But that was like the exception, After that, I never really trusted that this would work again. And so I've stayed away from Metroidvanias, okay? Now, this particular one, Silksong, had one of the biggest buildups, I think, of any game ever. Silksong was announced in what, like 2017, 2018? Because I think Hollow Knight came out in 2017? Let me find that out. It was February 24th, 2017 was the original Hollow Knight, okay? Now, first, it had like a cult following. Then it even gained a mainstream following as it got ported to consoles and everyone played this game, okay? So, yeah, like everyone loved this game and I never played it, okay? I just never touched it until that marathon many, many years later, and then no one seemed to like it. So, Silksong had been rumored, had been alluded to, had been like built up for a long time that it was going to happen, but it always kind of got delayed. We didn't get any solid information about it. So for the longest time, people said, hey, if Silksong comes out, will you play it? And I was like, but you guys didn't like Hollow Knight or the original one. So why would I play Silksong? And then over the years, a lot of people started saying, well, will you just play the original Hollow Knight then? And I was like, well, why would I play the original Hollow Knight if Silksong's coming out? I'll just play Silksong then. So I'll be honest, it was kind of beating around the bush for a while there. But then finally, just a few months ago, Silksong finally got its release date. It's got its big announcement or whatever. And I said to everyone, well, listen, there's other games that I think people want to see more, but I would be willing to eventually give Silksong a try. All right, let's play it by ear. Let's see what happens. And What ended up happening was Silksong released amongst the other games that I was playing, right? And people started coming to my stream saying, Phil, you're going to play it? Like, it's reviewed really well. Apparently, it really is like best in class, and you are actually significantly missing out if you don't play Silksong. So if you remember, on a whim, I think it was either release day or the day after release day, I ended up playing Silksong on a night stream randomly because we were playing a game and it didn't work. It was failing. I said, screw it, drop that game. Let's just play Silksong for an hour. So I played Silksong for an hour. People loved it. People showed up out of the blue to start watching the hour of Silksong that I was playing. Keep in mind, I had no clue what I was doing. It was my first exposure really to what this franchise really was. So I was getting my ass handed to me, but I was enjoying my time with it. And shockingly, people showed up, engaged, and supported with the hour and a half that I played of Silksong that night. And I was blown away by that. I was like, wow, really? People like this game that much? So I said, all right, here's what I'll do. I will commit one other major stream to Silksong. We'll actually give it a fair shake. And if people actually show up and support that stream, then we'll consider it a playthrough that I'm doing. And so I did give it a daytime slot. We played it as a major stream, and it did decent. I don't know if we hit the goal, but I think we might have come close to hitting the goal or whatever. But then people showed up after the fact and were like, sorry we couldn't make it. You know, it was kind of an on-the-fly thing that you added to the schedule, but we really like Silksong. Please continue. And I was getting like off-stream contributions. I was getting like super thanks on the videos. I was getting tips after the fact. And I was like, so maybe there is something here then. So I said I would play it again. And no exaggeration, since I started putting it regularly into the schedule, we had a regular group of people who really like Silksong, who would show up, help me with the game, to understand the mechanics, to know what to do as I'm playing, and who would support it. There's very few times during this over 60 hours that I've been playing Silksong that we didn't hit the goal. Some streams, we doubled the goal because so many people showed up and liked to play through. So the thing is, Silksong, in my opinion, and this is just my honest opinion, after having played it now to the end, okay? I actually think Silksong is the best Metroidvania game that I've ever seen or played, and likely is the best Metroidvania game ever made. I could be wrong because I haven't played them all. As you know, I've stayed away from a lot of them, okay? But for what it is, for the way that the game is handled with the story, for the amount of content, the amount of hidden content, the amount of rewarding things that happen when you do the optional content, the way that the game is laid out with the whole map changing and redeveloping, it is like probably the best designed Metroidvania game ever. Like, I don't know, can you name another one that's done it better than this? It takes from its games that came before and uses those elements, but then adds to them. Like, for example, in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you get halfway through the game, you think you beat it, and then the castle flips. So now you're playing the game again from the start, but it's flipped upside down and all the elements of the game change and everything. Well, basically, that's exactly what this game does. You beat Act 2, you think you're done, and a lot of people did beat Act 2 and said, oh, we're done. But there's actually a whole Act 3. And Act 3 is even better. Like, Act 3 has more content, has more, stuff to it. And it basically improved upon what Symphony of the Night did, and then some. Okay? The fact that there's all these different ways to play the game based on what crests you find. So you could play it as a projectile tosser. You could play it as someone who's nimble and has a million strikes. You could play it as someone who has strong charged attacks. You could play it as someone who's constantly using the tools, someone who's using the silk arch, or someone who uses none of that. You could actually play it in totally different ways and builds, which is crazy for a Metroidvania. Like, typically with a Metroidvania, you just need to use certain abilities and certain tactics in certain areas to get past them. In Silksong, you can play however you want based on what you find and what you feel more comfortable with, and that's cool. Some builds are better for the platforming, sure, but you could just master whatever build you're using and still beat the game. Yes, there's lawn care outside. That's what you guys were probably hearing. Even with my noise gates, it's going to be very hard to drown out the landscapers that are outside and being noisy, but they're almost done. They're walking by right now. They'll probably be gone within 5 minutes. So, anyway, The way the game is done, its art style, right, allows the game to look gorgeous, but not be taxing on your rig. Like, because it is this kind of 2D hand-drawn art, it allows it to be HD, great graphical quality, great effects, but it doesn't blow your fucking PC up either. So I actually think it's genius that they went with that art style because it allows them to do the maximum that they want to do. Not once during playing Silksong did this game ever stutter, freeze, or have a frame drop. It has always remained silky smooth throughout. And that is a rare thing in this day and age, that you're playing a game that's ultra difficult and there's a lot of shit going on the screen, and the game doesn't have a graphical problem. This game never had that problem whatsoever. Okay, that's amazing. Though I have some complaints about Silksong. I do. Okay, what I think the issue is with this game, the thing that held it back from being like, oh my God, my favorite game ever, okay? There are distinct times during the game where the game developers artificially inflate the difficulty because they think they're making the game more challenging, but all they're doing is they're making the game more annoying. And I feel like it's a fine line in 2025 between, do I want to make my game all the more difficult so you feel more rewarded when you complete this challenge? Or am I literally just making it so annoying that you get pissed off playing? And there were times in Silksong where that's happened to me. For example, when we were about halfway through the game, we were about to enter the Citadel. And you have to do this big platforming run through the blasted steps to get to the gate into the Citadel. At the gate of the Citadel is a boss. I think, what was it called? I forget what it was called, the last something. But it was essentially a boss that was completely unique. It had 3 completely separate phases, had insane amounts of health, and that's all well and good. It's the toughest thing in the game up to that point. That's fine. But if you're going to have a boss that's like that, then allow me to have a checkpoint. Instead, the game says, not only is this the most annoying boss so far in the game because it's so tough, we're also not going to give you a checkpoint. So you now have to do, it's the last judge. That's what it was, the last judge. You then have to do an insane run from the bench through the entire blasted steps back to this boss just for a chance to face it, to get past phase 1, then phase 2, then phase 3, and complete it. It's bullshit. There's literally no reason whatsoever for the game to actually have that run. It doesn't add anything to the game. And in fact, I'm not even kidding. That run is when I started to build this callus on my thumb from having to do that run over and over on this controller with this unforgivingly rock hard button. There's just no need for it. If you're going to give me a tough boss, give me a tough boss. Make it so that the pattern's challenging. Make it so that I need to learn stuff on the fly. I need to have good hand-eye coordination. I need to know when to strike. That's the good thing about overcoming a challenging boss. Not, oh, you had the endurance and the mental fortitude to redo the boss platforming run 700 times first before you even had a chance to face the boss, and then you don't blow it so that way you can beat the boss and not have to do that run again. Like, no, you don't. There's no reason for a boss run back like that in 2025. We're way past that. The reason they used to have boss run backs, do you want to know when this started? Ninja Gaiden. This all started with Ninja Gaiden 1 on the NES. Ninja Gaiden 1 on the NES is infamously one of the most difficult games ever made. Why? Because when you get to the final world, you have to go through 4 stages to get to the final boss. Then the final boss has multiple phases, and you have to beat them all in one go. If you die, you start back at the beginning of all those stages and have to go through all of them again from the start. It's fucking insane. It's wildly insane. It's like, what? Are you crazy? Why are you wasting my time? Now, why did they make the game like that? Excuse me. Because the game was on a cartridge on the Nintendo Entertainment System. There wasn't a lot of storage space on a cartridge. So what they had to do was, to make the game longer, they essentially had to make padding to force you to replay all those stages back to back to get back to the final boss. Padded the length of the game and made it feel like it was more challenging, but it also had more length. Hollow Knight Silksong is 60 hours long. It doesn't need any padding. There's literally not a single reason to have a boss run where you have to go through platforming to get back to the boss. There should be a checkpoint at the door at every single boss in the game. Period. That really pissed me off that they added in this weird artificial difficulty of having to do boss runs back to the boss door. That's stupid. And it just pisses me off because I think the game dev thought, well, let's make it as hard as possible. That doesn't make it better. That just makes it annoying for the gamer who wants to feel a level of accomplishment because they challenged and beat your tough boss. Going hand in hand with that, I also feel like there were some bosses that just had too much health. I would much rather fight a boss that is really tough to fight and has less hits to beat than a boss that actually isn't that tough to fight, but you have to hit it 72 times. That happened. Like that boss that a lot of people arguably say is the hardest boss in the game. What's her name? Scar Singer Carmelita, I think her name is, or something like that. She's actually not that hard of a boss. If you actually look at her patterns and how she moves or whatever, she's not that tough. The problem is you have to hit her 72 times to beat her. And that's with the maximum upgrade on your needle. If you don't have it, it's probably like hundreds of times to beat her. Do you have the fucking endurance to do that? Like, why do I have to hit her that many times? I already know your boss pattern. I shouldn't have to have insane god level endurance like I'm a fucking gaming Olympian to beat a boss in the game. You shouldn't have to hit a boss 72 times in any circumstance in any video game ever, besides maybe the most hidden end game, post game super boss in a grindy MMO or an RPG. Then maybe. But God, that was bad. That was like unbearably annoying. Got it done, but man, it was just, why did they make it so tedious and annoying? It wasn't the challenge, it was the tedium. You know what I'm saying? The tedium of the fight is what makes you bored. But when I beat her, I felt accomplished. I'm like, I did it, thank God. But man, it was annoying along the way. And you don't want it to be annoying along the way. You know what I mean? If I was playing a Souls game and it took me 72 hits to beat a boss, everyone would be like, your build's wrong. You're crazy. In this game, that's what was needed. That was the right build for it. It just took that long to beat her. Okay? So anyway, the game's not perfect by any means, all right? I also think there's a few design flaws. For example, I don't like the dash jump. The dash jump is essential for the game, but I like in a game when you dash, you can then instantly jump and get the speed boost. In this game, when you start to dash, if you press jump, it drops the jump. You have to hold dash and have a small buildup to get the full timing of the jump. It's weird to explain because when you dash, you instantly dash and you're at the maximum speed, but yet you need to run a certain length in order to then jump out of it and maintain that speed. Does that make sense? Probably not. It's really hard to explain. But I've played other games, for example, Mega Man X. In Mega Man X, you dash and instantly jump, and you can immediately get a dash jump at full speed. In this game, you need to build it up, and it's frustrating because especially there's areas where there's enemies in your way or the walk, there's not like a lot of space to run, but you need to do the dash jump. I just feel like if you could do an instant dash jump, it would have felt more fulfilling and rewarding. You don't really need the build up spot. And I don't know if it was intentional or not the way they built it. I just don't like the dash jump. It pisses me off. Okay? But overall, right? When we're talking about this game, if really my only criticisms are I don't like boss walks back to the boss. I think that a couple bosses take too many hits to kill, and the dash jump's a little delayed. I don't like that. If those are my only gripes with the game, that's not many gripes. You know what I mean? Like, overall, looking at the big picture, Hollow Knight Silksong is one of the best values for the dollar you can get. The game is, what, $20? And has upwards of 60 to 70 hours of content. Has really great hand-drawn graphics. Has great gameplay elements. Tons of replayability with the exploration and all the optional content that the game has. An outstanding soundtrack. Insanely creative level design. Insane amount of enemies and unique design of the enemies and bosses. How many times is a boss reused in this game? Does anyone actually know? I think the answer is 3 times. That's it. Every boss is unique. I think there's the big chubby fly is reused, and the guy with the club, he's reused. And I think there's one more. So I actually think only 3 bosses are reused in the entirety of a 60-hour game. Now, compare that to Elden Ring, where like 70% of the bosses are reused, right? That's what I mean. Like, this is wild what they actually did with the game and how they made it so original. So, yeah, I'm blown away with this game. I am ridiculously pleasantly surprised. I would say Hollow Knight Silksong is to Metroidvania games as what Baldur's Gate 3 was to that kind of narrative-based RPG of the time, where they pumped so much effort, so much content, so much polish, so much, good stuff into it, that it becomes a best-in-class example that everyone else must now try to live up to moving forward. And what's going to happen is that game developers are going to be upset because they're going to say, shit, now if I'm going to try to make a Metroidvania, I have to try to make a game that has the elements of Silksong. And to be fair, I don't know if every game development studio has the level of talent that Team Cherry has, because that game shows an impeccable level of talent to be able to pull off what they've done with this game. And in the modern era, a lot of these game dev studios, I hate to say it, they're just not up to snuff anymore. Even the AAA studios are horrible. They're pumping out this schlock, this crap, these games that just don't live up to the hype, but they just kind of try to go on their own merits and laurels, like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Are you fucking kidding me? That game was atrociously fucking bad, boring shovelware. But we're supposed to believe it's good because, Ubisoft and the Assassin's Creed team made it, right? No, it's garbage. Okay? This game is a game that now game devs must try to live up to that level, and that's going to make some of them look bad. Every game now that comes out after this that's a Metroidvania will be compared to Silksong, and that might be something that is going to be a hard thing to do, to beat Silksong. I would be shocked if the next 5 attempts at a Metroidvania are even as good as Silksong. Half as good, honestly. So, and the other thing is, oh my God, it's $20. Or it's either Game Pass or it's $20, right? Like, that's kind of insane. Kind of wild. Why did they sell it for so little? They easily could have sold this game for 40 or 50, and it would have been justified. So the fact that they decided not to rip people off, if anything, here's the thing that's disappointing. You know that Silksong will not win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. You know that it might not even be nominated. It should be. It should hands down be nominated. But because it's a gameplay-heavy game, because it's a Metroidvania style, they may just fucking gloss right over it and be like, meh. This year is a unique year. You got games like Clear Obscure Expedition 33. You got games like Silksong, games like Blueprints, these games that all kind of stood out as almost best in class in their categories. But are they going to have a chance to get recognized? I'm curious what games actually will be pushed down our throats at the Game Awards this year as the best games of the year. Like, let's be honest. Do you really think that last year, Astrobot was Game of the Year? Astrobot? A game that was just a more expanded version of a game that they had already made years before, a game that really didn't even innovate? That was your Game of the Year. It's just journalistic slop is what it is. You have these leftist, non-gaming journalists who are the people who nominate the games for Game of the Year. It's ridiculous. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I really hope that Silksong ends up getting its due. I really, really do. Okay? So we'll find out, I guess. But for me, Silksong, by far, one of my favorite games of the year. It's my favorite Metroidvania game. I would go as far to say it probably is the best Metroidvania game ever made. I'm very happy that I played it. I'm very happy that I gave it the time that I did, despite the fact that it destroyed my thumb and the fact that it has been one of the more challenging games that I've played in my 17 years as a gaming creator. I feel like this has been absolutely rewarding. It's been worth my time. You guys have appreciated the time and effort I put into it. You showed up, you've engaged, you supported this playthrough, and I appreciate that so much. I can't wait to see how it all ends today. And I think you have an idea that this game will be one of my front runners for my Game of the Year pick this year. Will it be my Game of the Year? That I don't know. But man, when you look at all the games that I played like this year, it's got to be up there, right? Although we are going to be playing Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero starting tomorrow. So we may give it a run for its money. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay? Cool. A couple quick shout-outs. We had The Mighty Papa Doc, who did a $2 super chat. And we had Jizzle DeSanta, who also did a $2 super chat and said, "Yo, Slim P, you're on fire today. Keep sizzling." Thank you for that. So currently we are at $37 of support. Guys, gals, let's get some support for Silksong today. Let's hit this goal. Let's crush it for the finale of Silksong. Let's get some support right now and get to $50. We only have 2 subs, or is it 1 sub? Well, we have some subs on Kick out of the 125 we're trying to hit to get the messages back. All right, let's go. Let's get some support. Let's get some subs. Let's get some kicks. Let's get some super chats. Let's get some tips. Let's get some memberships. Let's get it going. Let's crush this goal. Let's get support for the end of the podcast right now. Excuse me. Okay. Did I ever try Salt and Sanctuary? I don't remember. I know of the game, but I don't remember if I actually played it or not. What's up, Filipino? How you doing? All right, what I'd like to do now, I'd like to open up the chat to some Q&A for the end of the show. All right? Tag me in the chat. If you guys contribute, I'll do a shout out. But let's get some momentum going, and let's see what you guys want to talk about for the end of the podcast. Keep in mind, there will not be a podcast tomorrow because it is the premiere of me trying MK Mythology Sub-Zero, but I'll be back with a podcast on Friday to end the week. Okay. Someone tipped $3 and says, "Can RimWorld get a chance of replacing Ninja Gaiden 4 on night streams? Also, Arc Raiders is surprisingly fantastic and fresh, but wouldn't work on your streams. People would grief you." Do you not understand that, like, the games that you guys ask for like this usually don't work? Like, for example, everyone screamed for Project Zomboid for months. Then I played it, and it was the worst waste of my time ever in many marathons. Like, there was no point to ever playing it. So what makes you think RimWorld is going to work? Just being honest, like, what is different about RimWorld that you think this would work for my content when every time you guys tell me to play one of these obscure indie-style games, nobody gives a shit. They end up flopping, right? I'm just being real with you. I just don't think Project Zomboid was going to work. I told you this a million times. You guys said that you wanted me to do it for the marathon. I did. It didn't work. It didn't even run well. It was poorly unoptimized. You couldn't even read the fucking text on it. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't think RimWorld's going to work. And the truth is, if you love RimWorld, okay, if you're in love with it, but you know it's the kind of game that's not going to work for my content, stop asking me for it. Because all it's going to happen is I'm going to play it, say I don't like it, and then you're going to be upset. So why do you like being upset? Is that what it is? Do you like upsetting yourself? Is that you purposefully do things during the course of the day to, like, anger yourself and piss yourself off? Because that's all you're asking for. Just like when you begged me to play Stellar Blade, right? And when we played it, didn't like it. Oh, I can't believe I didn't like it. I told you I wasn't going to like it. The fuck did you listen to me for? Thank you to Nick Smith for a $2 super chat. What's your opinion of Tupac Shakur? I wasn't a huge fan of Tupac only because when I was growing up, he was West Coast, and I more preferred the East Coast style rappers. But I wasn't really into the whole West Coast culture thing. So I respect the guy for the content that he made, the music, but I don't really know that much about his story or anything. I just don't. I wasn't, like, into the whole West Coast rap scene. I just received an incredibly generous $50 tip from Silksong regular viewer. That's actually the name that they chose with this tip. So hold on one second. Silksong regular viewer with a $50 tip says, congrats on making it to the end. Thank you to the $50 tipper, Silksong regular viewer. Listen, I know that for a game like this, for a lot of people, this is bittersweet because this has been a hell of a journey, has it not? Again, over 60 hours of gameplay, 2 straight months that I've been playing Silksong regularly on streams, and it's about to finally come to a conclusion. I know for some people that's going to be a sad thing, but hey, at least we saw it to the end. At least it was thoroughly enjoyable for everyone involved. As tough as it was, as painful as it was still a really great experience for me. I'm so happy that I played it. And, it is time to move on to other stuff. This coming week, we're going to try Outer Worlds 2. We may be bringing back some of the other games that I played and trying them out. Like I said, maybe Poppy Playtime, maybe My Friendly Neighborhood, maybe more of No, I'm Not a Human, maybe some Left 4 Dead 2. It could be fun to try if I actually tweak it enough so the volume's right, there's no voice chat trolling and shit, make it work well. But also, in about a week, well, a little more than a week, I guess you would say, we got Call of Duty. And you know that Black Ops 7 is going to be a lot of content, right? I'm going to be playing it, unlocking all the stuff in multiplayer, doing all that. It's going to be a lot of stuff you guys are going to want to see. Finally having a multiplayer game consistently in the rotation. There you go. Well, thank you so much to the Silksong regular viewer for a whopping $50 contribution. Literally, that doubled the amount of support that we had on the stream now. Now we only have like 50 some to go to hit our goal for the stream. Very nice. Max Power says, I'm actually having a lot of fun watching your Fall Guys playthrough from many years ago. Have you considered bringing it back again for a stream or a marathon? Fall Guys, for when it was virally popular, it was very fun. But that's one of those kind of games where you have to be doing it when it's virally popular. After a while, it just fell off, and now people barely even talk about it or play it anymore. So I think it was great then, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to go back and play it now. Species Unknown is a cheap horror game that's the same vein as Alien Isolation and is fantastic, says Very Epic Man. Oh, man. Maybe I should have another coffee for the finale of Silksong. What do you guys think? Maybe I should thoroughly prepare myself for the end here. If you guys are saying the final boss is tough, I don't think it's going to be as tough as that other boss, but I'll have an extra coffee, beat my chest like a gorilla to take on the end of the game. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Here we go. Okay. Any last minute questions? Anything you guys want to cover before we adjourn? So remember, Outer Worlds 2 begins on Sunday. We will see if it's any good. If it's good, it stays in the rotation. If not, we dump it. We do something else. Okay. Ninja Gaiden 4 is officially out of the rotation. Right now, it's the finale of Silksong. Tonight, Tormented Souls 2 comes back to the rotation, so survival horror continues on the late stream tonight. Please be here for that. Tomorrow's daytime stream is going to be a hoot. It's Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero premiering. I've never played the game, but I've heard so many bad things about it. I can't wait to try it. It's one of those maybe it's so bad it's good situations. Tomorrow night, more Tormented Souls 2. Friday, we'll have a podcast, Pokemon, and more Mortal Kombat, and you'll determine, do you want to see more Sub-Zero? Do you want me to try other games in the collection, or do you actually want me to try online play for the first time? We'll do whatever you guys want Friday night. Then I'm off on Saturday. Sunday, we'll have a return podcast, Outer Worlds 2 premiere, and I think we're doing more Tormented Souls 2 that night, and then we'll go from there. Keep in mind, next week, we'll have the continuation of Pokemon. We'll have American Truck Sim again. We'll have maybe more Outer Worlds 2 if you guys like it enough. Okay, we'll see if you like it enough. We could return back to Super Mario Galaxy 2 if you want, or we could play some of these other games that, we played in the last couple of weeks, the horror games. And this is all building up to the release of Call of Duty on Friday. So it's going to be an exciting week. Red Eyes BDC just did a $5 super chat. Says, hey, just want to send a reminder that the Kick Chat sucks. Wow. Well, it's funny. Again, the Kick Chat for 2 days now has said to me, Phil, can you set up a goal so that if we hit this support goal, we can get back our text messages for moral support? So this morning I set it up. I said 125 subs by the end of Friday. So you have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to drop the subs and get your messages. We've had, I think, 1 sub all morning. So there you go. Right now, you could all be using your moral support and have amazing highlighted text messages in the chat. But instead, you're there sitting there with your thumb up your ass. Let's get some support from Kick. Let's get some subs right now. Let's go. I said, let's get some subs right now. And it appears we just received some subs. 10 subs from Rend324, who we haven't seen in ages. Rend, how are you? Well, I guess we could say happy holidays because we're hitting the holiday season now. I haven't seen a Rend in months. So welcome back, Rend, and thanks for dropping 10 subs. Really appreciate that. Let's get that up on the leaderboard here. Thank you so much. That's 10 down. I guess I'll check on the goal in just a second. Just like that, we're up to $147 of support. And then Rain did $2 as Easy Now Fuzzy Little Man Peach. I don't think anyone has ever called me a fuzzy little man peach before. That's very disturbing, actually, but thanks for $2. So now we're at 149 of support, just like that. Let's take a look. Rend, how are you? He says, Phil, I heard the YouTube side say Kick sucks, so I came in. I'm doing well, just been busy. Good to see you, man. Thank you for dropping in. Hopefully your holiday season is going well as we're all getting into full swing. I know things are getting very busy for a lot of people, including me. And hopefully you're doing good. So how are we doing on the goal now? Let's take a look. Okay, we got 11. We're at 11. No, wait. We're at 12? Rend just subbed themselves. So Rend resubbed themselves, and that kicked in as another sub, and that's why it says we're at 12. So there you go. And hashtag Fluffy just did a £2 super chat. So thank you to hashtag Fluffy for that. Look at all this support raining down upon the stream. Amazing. Absolutely amazing levels of support, guys. Guess what that means? Do you have any concept of what this means? Do you have any idea what these actual happenings have developed? Well, I'll tell you right now. This is what just happened. You ready? That's right. It's time to celebrate because we just hit the goal. 8 out of 10 goals hit. 2 more to go for DSP Tries It, Jollibee Take 2, The Return. Thank you for supporting my content, as you guys always do. You're absolutely amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will say this. In the last year, I have made a concerted effort to make my content better. You guys have absolutely reciprocated that effort. With your levels of support and engagement and positivity, you have shown me that my hard work will pay off and I should keep doing it, and I promise you I will. If we keep this going, this momentum, things are going to get better and better and better, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you so very much. Very nice. All right. And that was Rain's spinning bird kick that you heard there for the $2 super chat. Thank you all. Wow. Thank you so very, very much, guys. Amazing. It's still going on. It's still going. All right. Well. All right, folks. Well, guess what? Last chance. If you'd like to ask me a question or contribute, let's see what you guys want to chat about, and we'll end the show, and then we'll get ready for the Silksong finale right now. All right. Any final questions? Any other things to chat about? Buckwell says, did you consider using kick points for giving back, like spending 30,000 kick points? I'll put on a vest or eat something hot or do a stupid flex. Buckwell, I don't do stunts. I don't do that stuff anymore. That stuff is long done. Those days are over. Those days are in the rear view, in the past. I don't have to do that shit anymore. You understand? That stunt shit is for people who can't get support for their content. I don't have to do that shit anymore. I'm not a clown. Sorry. We will bring back the vests and the hats and the glasses once a year for the Indivestance Day Marathon, which went very well this last year. And we will do that once a year. That will be the time when we reminisce on the past and those silly times. But it's once a year. If we do it more than that, it's not special anymore. We're not doing it. Yes, Ren says someone mentioned DSP buys it on Black Friday, and that would be fun. Yeah, so Again, we're having all these different ideas for Black Friday. Thanksgiving leftovers, where I play games that we've tested a bit, but we haven't really fully played yet. DSP buys it, where I go online and I buy some stuff because of Black Friday deals. Black Ops Friday, where I play some Black Ops as just a fun segment. Maybe we do all of these ideas, right? Maybe we actually do every one of these ideas, and that's the event. It's just a little bit of everything during the course of the day, right? DSP buys it. Ka-ching. All right. Anything else? Any last minute stuff before we adjourn the show? This has been a great show. Man, last night, Chill with Phil, superb show. Got stuff done. Chill, great vibes. This morning's podcast, superb. Got stuff. The stuff I got done, I wanted to talk about, we got done. We're hitting it on all cylinders, folks. We are. All cylinders. Want to talk about some diapers? Cool. Let's talk about diapers. My adult diapers that I wear all the time. Yeah, right. If I wore adult diapers, I wouldn't have to take the, breaks to use the bathroom like I do. What brand is my weight bench? It's shitty generic. I bought a cheap one because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. If I am going to spend a lot of money on a good bench, I'm going to wait till I have room to put a good bench in. Like, I don't. I have such confined space. So I bought like an $80 weight bench. That's just a very basic one. It already sucks. It already is like creaky as shit now because I've been using it for like over 2 months and it just sucks ass. It's like noisy. So I definitely got to get a better one. Let's end the show. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Great show. So, folks, there is no podcast tomorrow. But the podcast will return on Friday for week-ending fun. We'll recap how today went with Silksong. We'll also talk about Mortal Kombat mythologies, any gaming news going on, and the like. So, everyone, thank you so very much for a great show. I will see you all Friday. But in the meantime, don't miss out on all the gameplay between now and then. Everyone, peace out. See you then.